Hello everyone, this is Box to Fashion Workshop. I remind you that we post new videos every day. Last time we cut the warm dress with dolman sleeves and the one-piece hood. Notice that I've already made a spacing seam on the center front. Here it is. I'll ask one of the tailors of my fashion house to tack the back off the camera. I'll be working with the front. I remind you that there will be a dart here in the wood. First, I need to trace it to the other side. I pinned the dart in order to trace it. I can start taking the dart now. Ira is going to try the dress on in the end of this video. I can't wait to see the result. I recommend you always making darts in the hoods. Have a look at the point where the shoulder seam turns into the hood. I need to make 7 or 8 mm long notch here. Do not forget to do it. Next, we're going to tack these details together with an overlap seam. This is one of the peculiarities of working with a boiled wool. I'm showing you a lot of interesting techniques when sewing this warm dress. I remind you that these are the front details. First, I need to pin the neck base. I'll explain why. I remind you that I haven't cut the neckline yet. Be very attentive. Lay the right detail at the front on top of the left one in such way that the center front seams match. Make sure that the seams match at the bottom. They are of the same length. Have a look at the way I'm working. I'm making sure that the seams match perfectly. Here is the pin which marks the neck base on the center front. I need to measure and mark 16 cm down from it. This is the point down from which the center front will be stitched. This is how the hood is going to look like. I'll also measure and mark 27 cm up from the bottom. This distance can be as long as you want. This is how long the vent is going to be. The most important thing in this dress is the design. It's also pretty important that I thought about all the needed sewing techniques in advance. If you don't do it, you can waste a lot of time trying to decide what to do or even fixing mistakes. These 2 points mark the distance which should be tacked. I need to tack the seam from one pin to the other. I can't wait for Ira to try the dress on. If you don't stitch the center front, you'll be able to wear this garment as a cardigan. We are making a dress, so the center front should be stitched. Next, I need to turn the dress wrong side up in order to tack the second edge. I remind you that the seam should be tacked from one pin to the other. I put the right detail on top of the left one, tacked one edge, then turned the details and tacked the second edge. This is how the hood is going to look like. There will also be a vent on the front. You do not necessarily have to make vents. It's up to you whether to make them or not. I'm showing you all the needed sewing techniques. You can change the design however you want. Next, I need to tack the hood. I want to do it before taking the front to the back. I'm going to tack the hood with the overlap seam as well, so I need to mark the 2 cm seam extension here. I remind you that I added 1 cm seam extension to each detail. I'm going to tack the side and the shoulder seams differently. I don't want to tack them with an overlap seams, in case we need to change something. The tacking will be removed after the fitting anyway. When I finish taking the details, I'll show you how they should look like. I remind you that I'm taking the hood details together. I mark the 2 cm seam extensions in the detail for taking. Notice that I'm taking the seam right in the center of the marked extension. This is how all the seams in the garments of the boiled wool should be tacked and stitched. Very nice. A seam and the 2 darts. The hood is ready. You might face some difficulties when making hoods of different fabrics, but never when working with the boiled wool. You know that I hate taking the details this way, but this one is round, so it's hardly possible to take it any other way. This part will be inserted in the back neckline, from one shoulder to the other. This is how the hood looks like now. I remind you that I made the notches at the points where the shoulder seams turn into the hood. Do not forget to do it. This is the front, and this is the back. The details should be tacked to each other face to face. First, I need to match the notches on the waistline. I think that the dress is going to be pretty wide, just like we wanted it to be. It's not hard to make it tighter if we decide that it's too wide. We wanted to make a wide dress, so we are making a wide dress. I've already tacked the side seams and one of the shoulder seams. I remind you that I made the notches and the points where the shoulder seams turn into the hood. First, I need to pin the beginning of the shoulder to the notch. When I finish taking the shoulder, the only thing left to be tacked will be the back neckline in the hood. I want you to learn to work accurately. If you are being accurate when drawing a pattern and cutting the details, you won't have any problems when taking and stitching the garment. Do you remember how to make a hood? Measure the back neckline, draw the same distance, make an opening for a dart, tack it. Make the seam as wide as you add for it. The rules for making such hoods are very simple. I've almost finished taking the sleeve. I want you to understand is that there are a lot of ways for decorating this dress. Use your imagination. Attach pockets, belt loops, make eyelets, anything you want. I need to pin the center of the hood to the center back. This is what should be done first. Have a look here. Due to the fact that I made a notch here, I can tack the hood without any problems. The details don't match for a couple of millimeters. It's absolutely okay. I'll just alter the dart later. I'm taking the hood to the back neckline. I remind you that the hood was cut together with the front details. The dress is just tacked for now. After the fitting, we'll stitch the dress, remove the tacking, iron the details and the seams. Have a look at the back neckline. Notice that the hood matches it perfectly. I can turn the dress right side out now to have a look at it. You can wear such dresses on top of the light blouses or sweaters. Ira is slim, so the dress is not too wide. This is how the vent on the front looks like. Have a look at the way the dress looks like now. It looks just like I wanted it to. I chose this design because I knew that it wouldn't be hard for you to sew such dresses. I can see that the side seams are too wide here. I think that will make them tighter after the fitting. I'm not going to change anything now. This is how the dress looks like now. The center front was stitched to this level. This is how the hood looks like. Next, Ira will try the dress on. The dress is finally tacked, so Ira can try it on. Just imagine how comfortable it is. I remind you that I wanted to make the side seams tighter. I can see now that it shouldn't be done. All the extra pieces will be cut from the seams later. The sleeves can be rolled up. Have a look at Ira. The dress is very nice. I love the hood. You can make it smaller or bigger. If you make it bigger, it will beautifully lay on your shoulders. If you make it smaller, it will look this way. It's up to you how big to make it. Ira made a bun of her hair, so the hood is stretched on the back. I think that the hood is okay the way it is now. Let's try a waistband. I love this dress. I think that it really is multifunctional. I remind you that it was made of the boiled wool. You can either make a waistband of the same fabric or buy a matching belt. I also love the vent on the front. And I love the way the hood looks like. Ira, turn round, please. Raise your arms. We made the multifunctional dress with the hood and the dolman sleeves. You can decorate the dress however you want. Make pockets, attach belt loops and waistbands, and so on. It's not hard to decorate the boiled wool. Don't be afraid to use your imagination. I love the dress. Ira, what do you think? She loves it too. As I've already said, the dress is multifunctional. Making such dresses is a good way of being different and beautiful every day. You can create a lot of different outfits with it. I recommend you making different waistbands. You can make a simple one. You can make an unusual one, of different color, for example. The best thing about working with the boiled wool is that you don't need to edge it. Use your imagination. Try different ways of decorating the waistbands. I love the dress. That's all for today. Be different and beautiful. Вы Апаукшты Ирина and Ira. Subscribe to my channel, write comments, share videos, press the like and the bell buttons. I would really appreciate your support. Thank you. Goodbye.